Hey Toy fans, D21 Beast Rob here, back with another figure review for you guys here today. And today we're taking a look at the X-Men Evolution Juggernaut figure released by Toy Biz in 2001. If you're unfamiliar, X-Men Evolution was the second incarnation of an X-Men animated series that we received. It strangely ran as part of the Kids WB lineup on Saturday mornings. And perhaps stranger still, X-Men Evolution was a cartoon that featured the X-Men while most of them were high school aged. Yes, each week we saw the likes of Cyclops, Jean, Shadowcat, and Nightcrawler, dealing with everything from bullies to homework, to even how far to pull up your underwear. Fashion faux pas aside, I actually really enjoyed this cartoon, and was super excited when Juggernaut debuted in the Season 1 episode Survival of the Fittest, and that's the appearance and likeness that this particular action figure is drawn from. The packaging for this figure does feature that Kids WB logo I mentioned previously. Below that is the logo for the X-Men Evolution animated series. And then we have a rather large blister bubble that does house this Juggernaut figure inside, as well as his accessories. Oh, and there's a special sticker to let us know, this Juggernaut figure features triple extreme action. Punches, slams, and crushes. And judging from the picture, you better believe trash cans around Bayville are quaking with fear anytime Juggernaut strolls into town. Flipping the package around, we do have a backstory for the X-Men Evolution animated series in the upper right. Sadly, there's no bio for this Juggernaut figure on the back. Instead, there's a rather large instruction graphic letting you know how the figure works. Finally, towards the bottom, there's a complete lineup of all the figures available in this wave. Alright, toy fans, well, that's the packaging. Let's say we get Xavier's half-brother, in this continuity anyway, out of the packaging and see what he's all about. Alright, toy fans, here we have Juggernaut out of the packaging, and I'm going to tell you guys right up front, this figure's not going to be for everybody. But let's talk about what works before we perhaps get into what doesn't. I think Toy Biz has done a really great job of recreating the look of this character from the X-Men Evolution animated series. In general, characters on that show tended to have a shorter torso with longer legs, and this Juggernaut figure definitely fits the bill. The sculpting and colors for Juggernaut are very show accurate. And Toy Biz even took things a step further by generously adding an overspray to Juggernaut's helmet, his torso, and even around the musculature of his legs. It adds a nice subtle definition to the figure. In fact, if we overlook some minor paint splotching on the left bicep for this figure, the only real problem I have with the overall look of this Juggernaut figure is that unsightly switch coming out of his back. That of course is included to facilitate an action feature that we'll take a look at in just a moment. Also, and it's a bit of a minor nitpick, but this Juggernaut figure is not 100% show accurate. The sculpt for the figure does feature a couple of latches around the front of his collar that hold the helmet on, as we saw in the TV show. But this costume should have another set of latches on the back side of the collar for this figure, and they weren't sculpted or painted on. Again, it's a minor gripe, but the show actually went through the trouble of establishing that there are 4 locking mechanisms on Juggernaut's costume that the X-Men actually needed to deal with before they could get his helmet off. Finally, this helmet is a bit narrower in shape and design than it actually was on X-Men Evolution, the animated series. That's likely due to the fact that this helmet is removable, which is a nice touch. But again, it's a minor gripe that prevents this figure from being show accurate. But hey, if I've got my choice between a removable helmet on a Juggernaut figure and a sculpted helmet that doesn't come off at all, I'll take removable every time. So I appreciate Toy Biz doing what they could to give us the option. Now let's go ahead and talk action features, and this is unfortunately an area where the figure falls short for me. Juggernaut has a removable helmet that we've already gone over. And of course the back of his body has that switch. When you pull it down, his arms actually alternate moving up and down. Now what's interesting about that is the back of the box suggests that it's only supposed to be one arm that moves when you hit the switch, but clearly both are working in unison. And Juggernaut has a set of legs that are designed to be squeezed. They don't really do anything straight out of the box. The packaging seems to suggest that Juggernaut should be capable of doing an uppercut when you squeeze his legs. My figure definitely isn't doing that, but what I have noticed is that his torso tries to spin when you squeeze his legs, and if I assist it, it'll do a full turn. Or at least a half turn, I guess? Anyway, it's a function that doesn't seem to work as well as it was intended to, made stranger by the fact that it's not even described on the back of the packaging. Juggernaut's also got an accessory with an action gimmick. He comes with the Trashcan. Now I actually like the design for this trash can. The body of it's kind of weak, but it is a foldable, flexible fabric, but the top of the trash can has a ton of great detail. We've got everything from a milk carton, to a graded paper with an F on it, to even a half-eaten hot dog. Toy Biz had a lot of fun creating this accessory, and unlike what Hasbro might do today, they've fully painted everything in this sculpted piece. A wonderful attention to detail. But despite the appeal of some sculpted garbage, the action feature for this accessory doesn't seem as well thought out. Juggernaut's supposed to be able to smash that trash can when you hit the switch on his back, but as you can see, as I hit the trash can with the figure, it's not doing anything. Let's see if we can readjust his arm. And unfortunately, we are still just as unsuccessful. While the action feature works, you just need to apply a lot more force than you're going to get out of a figure with an action gimmick. Articulation-wise, Juggernaut is somewhat limited. His head will look left and right, but it does not look up and down at all. His arm will rotate all the way around, but you have to force it against the internal mechanism for his action feature, so really you probably only want to click it into place wherever you need it, and just leave it be. I wouldn't recommend rotating it all the way around on a regular basis. He's got a hinge on the shoulder so his arm will bend out that far, single jointed elbow, full rotation here at the wrist. He has the same articulation here on the other side, but his right hand has the additional finger articulation, which is kind of nice for his chopping hand. There's no ab crunch, but there is a waist rotation, but it is somewhat limited by that unadvertised leg action feature. It will always snap back into place. His left leg will go forward pretty far, goes back just past standing position. He's got a single jointed knee, and there's no ankle or toe articulation for this figure. Now his right leg is a bit of a tricky situation. It feels pretty stiff, and it doesn't want to move forward or backward. I feel like if I apply excessive force, it might pop into place, but I also don't want to break the figure, so I'm not going to try. Height-wise, Juggernaut does stand at nearly 8 inches tall. Here he is compared to the Marvel Select Juggernaut from Diamond Select, and compared to the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Juggernaut released by Hasbro in 2016. Here he is compared to the X-Men Evolution Cyclops figure from this same toy line, and I think the scale works out pretty well between these two. And finally, here he is compared to the 6-inch scale Marvel Legends Infinite Series Wolverine. Alright, toy fans, well that's my review of the X-Men Evolution Juggernaut figure released by Toy Biz in 2001. Overall, as I stated towards the beginning, this figure's not going to be for everybody. Toy Biz has done a great job of capturing the look of this character from X-Men Evolution, the animated series. But if you're not a fan of that cartoon, and you're not a big Juggernaut diehard, this isn't exactly a figure that you can slip into your movie display or your comic book figure display. Couple that with the fact that his articulation is rather limited given the action features that are included inside the figure, and you might feel compelled to give this figure a pass. But at the end of the day, I do quite enjoy the stoicism of this figure's overall design. If you can find them for $15 or $20 shipped, treat yourself and call it a sale. Well, thanks for watching this review, toy fans. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do me a big favor and give this video a thumbs up. You can always keep up with me on Twitter and Instagram at D21Beast, and I'll see you guys next time.